Abaticola and Ferrari discuss everything. With Matt Abaticola.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
I'm sorry I ruined your New Year's Eve party. She tastes like cigarettes.
And Jason Ferrari.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Two complete nincompoops with microphones and access to the World Wide Web. Presented by Mickey Finn's Brewery in Libertyville, Lake County's oldest brew pub. Now, here are your hosts for this shit show, Abaticola and Ferrari.
Hello there, podcast friends, and welcome into episode number 6. It's called Water Pillows. It's Abaticola and Ferrari discuss everything, the AFDE show. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day, wherever it is in your day. We are absolutely having a great time together, as we always do, recording our podcast. Again, this is the AFDE show, Abaticola, Ferrari discuss everything. Episode 6, it's called Water Pillows. Hey, you can follow the show on Twitter at AFDE show. You can connect on Facebook at facebook.com/AFDE show. You can email us anytime at afdeshow@gmail.com. He's Jason Ferrari. I'm Matt Abaticola, and you are you. And thanks for downloading and listening to our podcast. We do appreciate all of your support. How you doing, Jay?
Not too bad. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I always have so much fun doing this that it feels like the week is like 2 weeks long.
Waiting for it.
Yeah, like if this could be my job, that'd be cool. I look forward to this.
Record
so
a
much.
podcast every day and get paid. All right, well, get on it, people. Start
good.
sending us money, please.
Yes, that works.
We are presented to you by our good friends at Mickey Finn's, Lake County's oldest brew pub. They're located at 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in Libertyville. You can follow them on Twitter at Mickey Finn's. You go there on their Twitter account, you can see. You can also connect with them on Facebook at facebook.com/Mickey Finn's Brewery. On Twitter, Facebook, you can see what events they have going on during the week, including bands on the weekends. Always lots of great live entertainment at Mickey Finn's. Great food, as well as fantastic beer, so check them out. We thank them for being a part of our show as our presenting sponsor, that is Mickey Finn's. So I want to get right into it today, Jay, because there's something that's been happening that has been terrifying me this entire summer and into the fall. And I first saw it when I went to the movies back in, I don't know if it was June or July. I went and saw the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. Okay. And one of the previews for it was the remake of It.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought when I sent you the photo, you're like, yeah, no thanks.
No, I saw that in the theater, and it was, the theater's dark, and there was me and two other people in the theater in the middle of the day to see the Mummy, and I was absolutely just utterly terrified by the image of that clown. And the movie is terrifying. I'll admit I don't like scary movies. I'm not a fan. That stuff, I don't care that I'm 44 years old and a man, I'm supposed to just shake it off because it's only a movie. That stuff stays with me. It bothers me. I don't like scary movies.
Yeah, and then add in clowns. But I don't proactively watch those things.
Right.
If someone has it on, okay, I'm half paying attention. But yeah, I don't know. And when I was younger, though, I watched all of them.
Yeah.
And then I don't know when I hit a point where I'm just like, well, it was disinterested. It's not a part of my brain that I want to even think about that.
I grew up watching all the Freddy Krueger and the Jasons
right.
and the
Halloween,
yeah, and Michael Myers, and those are still great. And actually, every Halloween, I still watch the original Halloween.
Yeah,
every Halloween I watch.
That's the most other than clown stuff. That's the most terrifying mask. Like just bare emotionless.
That's just a great. It's a great movie.
Someone was asking me the other day, or we were talking about Freddy Krueger, and I was like, no, I personally think they're like comedies. Because, I know he's killing people, but the guy just makes jokes and insults the shit out of you
one-liners,
first.
right.
Oh, yeah. And so I never really was scared by it. And I'm just, the scratch on the wall, I'm like, all right.
I don't like scary movies and, whatever. And I guess in the right situation, I'll watch a scary movie or whatever. But I just, if given the choice, I'm not going to do it. And I'm certainly not going to do it by myself. And this movie, It, is just terrifying me with this clown. I think Pennywise the clown is what his name is.
Yep.
And it's fantastic, that it is so terrifying. But the stories that have happened since this movie's going to be released or has been released, whatever even it is now, I don't even know at what point they're in. I saw the story the other day, Jay, about this theater in Colorado that is showing a special screening of the movie It, and it's for clowns only. Like, you have to be dressed as a clown to get into the theater in this one particular screening to see the movie It. A clown.
Can you imagine how many windowless vans are in the parking lot? Oh my god!
What a fantastic operation for like a sting operation.
You
for
just
the police.
lock the door,
Right?
like those movies where everyone was killed in the theater. No, we just got rid of some clown, and then get another one for mimes.
Like the theater's full, and then like they cut the film off before they start, and they're like, "All right, everybody, we have an announcement." And the police walk
This is
in,
a raid.
and yeah, the police ask for IDs and stuff, and check to see how many are pedophiles or wanted for something. And yeah, you're in full clown costume. Okay, we're gonna check you out, see who you are. But yeah, so there's a theater out there in Colorado, and my only desire is that they all show up in one car.
Yeah,
They just pull up to the front of the theater, and they all
like in a
start
Volkswagen,
getting out, one after the other, and not the happy-looking clowns. I want like the Pennywise-looking scary clowns.
Oh God!
All to get out of like one windowless van, just to pile out.
If you want to be, well, I know you don't want to be scared, but read the book. Oh yeah. I mean, you don't even see the visuals, and that like scared the hell out of me. The book is insane.
I'm good. I don't really think I want to see that either.
Yeah.
Then there was another story that came up because of this movie, It, and the remake and whatever it is they're doing with it. But there's a story from the Telegraph that you found. America's clowns say the new It film is costing them money, which is fantastic. The World Clown Association has already had to deal with the bad press of last year's worldwide.
I just love that is an organization that exists.
They had bad press
union?
last year of the epidemic of the killer clown sightings. You remember when that was going on?
Oh, that was
Now the organization faces even a bigger potential blow to their business. The forthcoming blockbuster adaptation of Stephen King's It. It's based on a novel which launched millions into abject clown phobia. It hasn't spooked audiences with its relentless promotional campaign, but it also has panicked professional clowns who have expressed worry that its influences might impact their bottom line. Now, it's hysterical. I mean, like, you almost spit your drink just now, just hearing the World Clown Association, the WCA. But could there be a less sympathetic group in the world than clowns? Like, for people to, oh, man, they're going to lose money? Oh,
or that you even think of
shame.
that.
Right.
Like, I think of clowns having, like, a union? They have their own
Right.
clown union?
And you know what? And listen, if you're in the clowns and like you dress up as a clown and you work kids' parties, yeah, you're a needed part of society. You're not a creepy guy or a creepy clown. But if it's, I'm sorry, but if it's your full time, like, life depends on your gig as a clown
income.
It's your clown. They're paid in giant phony bills.
Yeah, it was, with each check you just get those giant ass shoes and the balloons you could tie into balloon animals.
Each U.S. currency is the size of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Here you go, Mr. Clown. Here's 500 pieces of paper that look like money. If your life, if survival, if eating, if paying bills depends on your clown income, I'm sorry, I just can't have any kind of sympathy for you that the movie It might be taking away from your bottom line.
I definitely almost spit my drink, and I've already read this story twice, so it's just I already know it, and hearing it is still making me laugh. The World Clown Association. Good Lord.
You know, if you're getting your buddies together and you guys are trying to find something to do, and maybe it's not going to see It together as a group. I don't know. Maybe do you have a group of male friends you get together with to go to see movies?
Just like bro, horror movie night done.
Let's go see It. Well, maybe that's not for you, but you're trying to plan your next bro outing. Well, here's another opportunity for you, and I saw this actually on GQ. And listen to this: the number of male spa goers has exploded in the past 12 years, creating a niche but thriving industry. And it goes on to describe these new type of spas that are available and out there for men. They're described as man cave spas, but it's where men go to get pampered like their lady counterparts do, but just in a more male setting. And it's designed to be more of a man cave experience where it's darker lighting, it's not quite as bright. There's a bar. Generally flat screen TVs that are showing, usually it's ESPN over and over and over
The
again.
Bodyguard.
Right, not showing movies, The Bodyguard. But I used to go to a place to get my hair cut downtown. I think it was on Lake, and it was between my apartment on Kinsey, going to the radio station is where I first walked past it, and it was a hair salon, but for dudes. I can't remember what the name was called. So I went in there to check it out one day, and like chicks didn't go there to get anything done, but it wasn't quite like to this extreme where it was like a man cave type setting. It still looked like a regular salon, but when you walked in, it was more geared towards dudes with leather furniture, and there was a bar, and you could actually make your own beverage if you wanted one. They had alcohol.
Okay. No,
yeah, and they had flat
own,
screens
that's great.
everywhere. Yeah, no, so it was cool, and they had dude magazines everywhere. Not like porn, but I mean like golf magazines and money.
I could go in there and make my own drinks and check out a Hustler.
They had private rooms for your own your own enjoyment, whatever.
Yeah, it's also capable of offering a sperm donation program.
Yeah, that's in the back. But so yeah, that I saw that. I went to that for a little while when I didn't care about spending over $50 for a haircut because it didn't matter at that point. Something I wouldn't do now. But so now these are growing all over the country where they're more designed to look like a man cave and more of a man space for dudes to go and get a manicure together. So if you're not going to go see it on Bro Night, then maybe you guys can go to a man spa together.
I think, I wonder, is this kind of just offering another alternative to a man trying to escape his wife by going to a bar? Now he can go to the man cave spa. I don't know. You know what's kind of funny, too? Obviously, the spa thing isn't happening, but it's basically like you driving to go to your own basement. Like you're going to someone else's basement, basically. I don't know. I don't need that stuff.
Well, I mean,
I know extravagant.
I know a lot of guys that regularly do stuff like that for themselves, whether it's a manicure and pedicure or just a manicure. And some guys like going weekly for a haircut and a shave, and they got little expendable income that you can do that weekly.
Got some extra scratch for that habit,
right? And even getting to the point where you get a haircut and a shave, and you get a massage. And I've done that once where I went and got a haircut and a straight razor shave. I did it one time just to experience it. I'll never do it again. I didn't think the shave wasn't as good as I was hoping it would have been.
Yeah.
It wasn't as comfortable or as enjoyable. Like, in movies, they make it look like dudes are about ready to fall asleep while they got a straight edge razor on their neck.
And the towel.
I was not like that. I was like, oh man, I hope this guy doesn't slice.
No, that's exactly. I wouldn't. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna close my eyes the whole time. I would not be able to look at this giant razor coming at me. If I sneeze or something, it's over.
All right. Well, maybe going to a man cave inspired man spa isn't your thing. Well, here's another opportunity for you, and I love this story. I think this is fantastic. An opportunity to go bathe in some of the world's finest beer, the first beer swimming pools. Yeah, and there's really no way to explain it. It's exactly what it sounds like. And there's a place in Austria, and they are the home to the world's first beer swimming pools. There are 7 13-foot pools, and they're full of beer, which can be visited for, and they charge you €200 per 2-hour session.
Do you think people drink just take gulps?
Well, in the story, they encourage you not to do that because
it's other people's bodies.
Well, there are other men and other people inside the beer pool, so you don't want to drink that. But also, it's heated too. It's not cold beer. You're not getting into a giant cold.
Yeah, it's like swimming in just a giant bucket of piss.
Pretty much.
Great.
But it smells better than urine, and if you were to drink it, originally would have tasted better than urine if it's good beer. But they say that bathing in the beer and the different ingredients that are in these beers that they have, and they have a bunch of different ones for all the different pools. They actually help condition your skin. They make your skin softer. And they say that the aroma from the hops, it does something to relax you and calm you down. So it's a soothing type setting.
Maybe it's your through osmosis. It's going into your pores. It's like a different way to get drunk.
So I don't know. Would you ever do that? Would you ever?
Probably. I mean, it's not. I'm not trying to go to Austria.
I mean, I'm not going to Austria to do it.
Yeah,
right.
But if there was one here, I don't know. Yeah, if it's not super expensive, why? I mean, then I could say, hey, I swam in a pool of beer. It's something I need to brag about, but it's just something that could happen to you that would be of interest. I don't know. I'd do it if it's cheap.
Yeah, when I first saw the story, I was like, I don't know. It didn't sound like something I'd really want to do.
I like that they mentioned
even if it was local. And it wasn't, I mean, €200 for a 2-hour set, that's pretty expensive too.
Yeah.
That's pretty pricey.
And what do you just
you just hang out.
Yeah, but I was just saying, no one's swimming for 2 hours. If there's Olympic athletes, they have a lap line. I don't think, the public
there's
pool,
a lap lane.
There's a lap lane.
And if they do, I wonder if they have an adults only swim.
Just doing some guys fly swimming, just aggressively.
You bring your family to the beer pool. All right, kids out, families only, or adults only.
Right,
adults
put
only,
on your
families
floaties.
out.
Daddy's got to do some laps.
Yeah, I don't. There's nothing about it that seems interesting to me. I mean, I don't need the health effects of soaking in beer. I would much rather take a nice cold pint of it and drink it down.
Pour it on your shirt.
Spill it on myself.
I
right.
feel like yeast in certain crevices just can't be good for you.
Yeah, so you can sit in the pool, a big pool of hot beer, of warm beer, while you're sipping on cold beer. So they do obviously offer you the beer they make to drink while you're soaking.
You know what? I think that makes it even more weird. Like you're floating in the beer that you're drinking. That's so weird. Well, plus, what do they say? It's like some of the world's best beers.
Right.
Unless there is some kind of magical qualities in it.
Right.
If I'm swimming in Schlitz versus swimming in Delirium, I feel like it's still like I'm in a big warm pool of beer.
Right. Do me a favor and fill the pool up with Miller Lite and give me a tall glass of Pineapple Express.
Yes.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Perfect. That'll work for me.
Just like a boot. Drink a boot in there.
Here's another fantastic story as we continue on talking about alcohol, which is a nice running theme here. Amazon is now, Jason, the boozy friend who can bring you alcohol in less than 2 hours. Sometimes you need liquor because you have a party to go to and you need to bring some sort of offering to say, thanks for having me, let's imbibe together. Other times, it's simply Tuesday. In either case, Amazon's Prime Now feature will help you out. It now promises to bring members alcohol, beer, wine, and or spirits in 2 hours or less. Prime Now is currently available in over 30 areas coast to coast, but so far only 12 U.S. cities have the opportunity to get alcoholic deliveries in the under 2 hour mark. There's even an option to expedite that to 1 hour for an extra $8. So here are the 12 cities that you can actually do this in, and luckily enough for us, Chicago is one of them. They also include Cincinnati, Columbus, Ohio, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, New York, Phoenix, Portland, Oregon, Richmond, Virginia, San Diego, San Francisco, and Seattle, Washington. If your city's not there yet listed, because we do know that people listen to this podcast all over the country, all over the world, odds are very high that Amazon's working on a liquor license near you.
So basically what you're saying is I can get alcohol delivered to me faster than I can get deep dish pizza delivered to me.
Why, does it take a long time for you?
Oh, no, I can't. Well, if I go pick up, obviously, but
right.
I mean, it takes them,
for delivery, though.
Deep dish takes forever, and I'm sure they're making several deep dish, but anyway, I could pay $8 to have any kind of booze I want delivered to me, or $8 additional for an hour versus
for an hour
two.
delivery, right. Now,
it's so crazy.
You know what? It didn't say in the story that there was like a minimum purchase, though.
There probably
is.
is.
Did I miss that?
Well, no, I don't know. I didn't see that in there, but I mean, I am a Prime customer.
So, like, you could just call up and say you're watching a movie here at home with Trish, and your Captain's low, and you want to order a bottle of Captain,
couple cheap bottles of wine,
right?
Whatever. Yeah. Well, because with Prime, I mean, like I said, I ordered a cable for the headphones, and it was $3.
Okay,
and it was delivered the next day. So, I mean, I don't know. I wonder if there's some kind of... Well, no, it wouldn't have anything to do with the liquor license. I don't see why there would be a minimum. Or
so
maybe,
that's great. So it's actually a really, really cool service. If it's something you use, Amazon, I don't think I've ever purchased anything off Amazon. I know you do all the time. But it sounds like a great service, especially if there's no minimum to it and you can just order a bottle, or you want to stock up your house for the month or whatever it is, however much you purchase your booze and for how long you do it for.
It's crazy.
But absolutely fantastic if you're having a party and you're kind of running low, or more people show up, or sometimes like in neighborhoods people will just kind of get together kind of on a whim, and it just kind of happens, and like, oh man, I don't have a whole ton of beer or,
I have
booze.
I have
so it's
4
like
beers that have been left behind at the last 2 parties.
So you could call and have liquor delivered in an hour for $8. I think it's pretty cool, pretty smart.
It's awesome. I mean, like I think they always tend to, if someone does something in the marketplace, they're like, yeah, well, okay, that's a good idea, but we're going to do it better. Because Uber even has a service. Well, they'll go pick
they deliver food
they'll
and
go
booze,
pick
right?
up booze.
Yeah.
So, but I guarantee, I mean, it's obviously it's going to be way more efficient for Amazon. They have warehouses everywhere, and now they have Amazon Fresh with the grocery store. So, hey, I would use it. I might use it.
Oh, try it out and see how it is.
Or if I'm going to a party, so I don't have to carry anything, I'll just have it shipped to their house. And then when you get there, what you ordered is there.
That's pretty smart, actually.
Yeah.
You have it delivered the day before the party.
Right.
Like, I'm a really
no,
good
but then
friend.
they'll drink it all. No, I'm gonna have it be there, and then I'm gonna walk in and be like, oh, you got a package?
That's pretty good. I like that. Good story, and Amazon continuing to make life easier for us, make us lazier as a country. Gosh darn it, I'm not going out to buy my booze. I want it sent to me.
Yeah.
Now, if they send you like mixed cocktails already prepared, that would be outstanding.
No, you
It
open
comes
the,
with a bartender?
You open I was just gonna say you open the box and a guy pops out and he's like peeling the oranges for your old fashioned.
Hello, sir.
I know, and he has to be like yeah. I need him to be like a butler.
Hello, sir.
No, that's why I didn't say I need him to be someone from the cast of Mary Poppins.
No, he has to be. All right, here's a fantastic, because we do love talking about dumb things on the show, because it generally is, but dumb criminals, one of our favorite topics. And this is an outstanding story from Woodlawn, Maryland. Two armed men, they showed up at a bar this past week and demanded cash at gunpoint. But the problem is they should have thought twice and known who was actually drinking there. Now, I'm sure they weren't planning on being there in a large room filled with police officers. Yes, these two idiots decided to rob a bar in Baltimore County that was a known hangout for off-duty police officers. So these idiots walked into a full bar and demanded money from the register at gunpoint to a room full of police officers.
I believe they said it was it next door or 2 doors away from a police station. So I mean, it's dumb either way, but that's exponentially more dumb.
Now, the best part about it was even more filled with cops than normal.
It was like a retirement
because
party
it was a retirement party for one of the retiring sergeants, David Nerrell, a veteran police officer, had been with the department since 1988, according to the Baltimore Sun. While the party was going on, the pub's main room, two masked men, they showed up at the pub's carryout counter at 5:30 and demanded cash from the register.
5:30 p.m. This is a robbery.
Like, not only that, like, give it the nighttime where there actually is more money to be made.
Right.
You're going to walk out like at closing when it's a little empty.
Yeah, that's like going in there when they're like wiping down the bar and taking the stools down. Like in the morning. What time you guys open? 11? All right, cool.
They charge it at 11:02.
Yeah.
All right, hands up, money now.
The only thing in the register is from the schmucks. I've been the schmuck, but the schmucks who leave their debit card from the night before.
Hey, dude, I'm sorry. All we have is the $50 cash bank we start the day off with. We literally had no customers yet. You're the first person to walk in.
Stamps and towels.
I don't care. I want the $50.
All right.
Okay.
Have at it.
Yeah, so if you're going to rob a bar, here's two suggestions from the AFD show. Number one, don't do it where cops hang out. Number two, wait till the very end of the night, not in the middle of the day. You might have a chance to walk away with some more money. And speaking of bars, we are very, very excited about this and very proud to add a new sponsor to the AFDE show.
Yes. This is one of my favorite places in Chicago, and they are coming on board to be a segment sponsor. So we'll have a dedicated segment for them each week. And our new partner is Will's Northwood Inn. They're at 3030 North Racine. It's in the Lakeview area, basically like Belmont and Sheffield. They're off of Racine, but it's kind of like right there. So what they like to say about themselves, and I actually really appreciate this tagline, is they're a little bit of God's country in the heart of South Lakeview. So they actually thought of like a marketing tagline versus like, yeah, we have beer, you should just stop by. Just to give you a little history of it, John Bungie is the name of the guy who opened the bar back in 1991. There's a really, really long story that I was told when I went and worked out the partnership details. And we're going to have Kevin Cruz on, who's the general manager there, and he's going to kind of go more into it. But so John Bungie was the guy who opened it. Will's is named after William Wheeler, the son of Leonard and Harriet Wheeler, who were missionaries for Indians up in northern Wisconsin when we were trying to take their land and help them out their tribe out so they didn't get displaced. So, they named it after their great-grandfather, but basically John said he wanted to open up a bar in Chicago that reminded him of home. And if you've ever been in Will's, or I obviously recommend you go to Will's, it's really cool. There's like, there's like moose, like stuffed moose with, the heads with the antlers all over the place. It's got the wood pan. It's basically like going to a lodge. It's really cool. I love that place. But aside from weekly specials and activities, and I'll give you all the website and contact info in a second, but they have something that comes up every year, and it's called Muskie Fest. Muskie Fest started in Hayward, Wisconsin. And basically it's, hey, we're going to open the bar at 10 a.m. and we're going to have live bands for 12 hours and there's going to be drink specials. But the best part of it, this is so funny. They have what's called the contest for the Muskie Queen.
Musky Queen.
What the? Yeah, well, we'll tell them that they need to figure out an ABBA cover. But so what these ladies do is they go, they submit an application to become eligible, and then it's literally like a political campaign. They get a campaign manager to kind of lobby for them and help them get their name out there and get votes. Then on the day of, they go in there and they have a ballot box that they've custom made, and they walk around and they try to get people to vote for them.
That's great.
It's obviously highly recommended to bring as many friends as you can or have them come, because then they can vote for you. Unless you completely like shit the bed and you're awful, then they vote for someone else, which would actually be pretty funny. What was I going to say? So it's September 9th, next Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m. and at 10 p.m. is when they crown the Muskie Fest Queen.
That's great. So it's 12 hours of drinking for Muskie Queen.
So this is okay. So I talked to Kevin, the general manager, a couple of bartenders, and a couple of regulars on Friday evening. Then it ended up night.
Yeah.
But and they're I don't know any of these girls that they were talking about, but they were saying, "Hey, do you think Beth is going to be able to make it past like 2 p.m.?" So they know some of these candidates, and they said there's no way that they're going to be standing by 10 p.m. So it is possible you could be the top vote getter, and if you biff and you leave beforehand, the runner-up becomes, Lynn. It's Bremer, right?
Lynn Bramer.
Bramer. Okay,
yep.
Sorry. From veteran, been in Chicago radio forever over at XRT.
This is great. His title is fantastic. I had no idea he was involved in this, but he's the Muskie Marshal.
Yeah, he's been the Muskie Fest Marshal for 20 years.
I'm gonna go next Saturday. I've never been to Will's. I'm looking forward to going and meeting the guys there and seeing what this is like. And then, of course, I saw that Lynn being there, a good buddy of mine, so I want to go see him. And wonder if I could get our friend from the Score, Damn It Neil, to come out, because he was always talking about muskie fishing. It's right up his alley. I mean, lodge in the North Woods, that's his home away from homes.
Another veteran who has now jumped into the foray of podcasting. So we got another podcast brother.
Yeah, McNeil's starting a podcast. I think it's called Unsupervised, and his unfiltered look and talk about Chicago sports. So, yeah, good luck to him.
He's going to be recording from his man cave spa.
Yeah, while swimming in a
I know he did.
I
think he did say he was going to be doing it in his basement. Yeah, he's got one of those indoor hot tub things.
Yes, and he just fills it with beer. And he actually has a bunch of killer clowns tied up in his basement. So he does the opposite of thing.
God,
he doesn't get tied up and locked up in people.
Yeah, so he's too scared to do his own podcast. Okay, so anyway, so they Lynn Bramer will announce it at 10 p.m.
Now I wonder if Lynn will still be standing by 10 p.m. That's the question.
I mean, he's been doing it for 20 years. I think he's figured out how to do it, how to plan for the day.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. So the winner gets, this is crazy. So you get the title of Muskie Queen,
and you get muskied in the face.
They throw a fish at you. No, she will also get $250 in cash, the official Muskie Fest sash and tiara, a stuffed and mounted muskie, a trip for two to Wisconsin, all expenses paid, a keg party at Will's.
Hey, nice muskie.
Yeah,
thanks.
Her name is. Now I'm just thinking of that stupid singing fish, the singing bass. Keg party at Will's.
Nice.
Her name is engraved on the Muskie Queen plaque. They get 4 tickets to T-Box, that super annoying largest party, 12 bars of Christmas.
Yeah, sure.
And a Will's. I've seen these Elmer Fudd hat.
Oh, cool.
Which is hilarious.
And I think your buddy Kevin gets her name tattooed on his back, along with the other winners.
But after 20 years, he's gonna need a big back. He might need to like enlist one of those moose.
Oh
to carry
my
the
God,
names.
Becky, look at Kevin's back.
Oh, jeez. And the trip to Wisconsin is provided by Travel Wisconsin, who I'm familiar with from doing some stuff in Madison. And they're awesome. They're awesome to work with. They put together a really cool trip. So I bet that's awesome. One last thing about that. Again, it's September 9th, next Saturday. It's 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can go there. You can obviously drink, listen to bands all day. You can vote for the Muskie Queen. I mean, you can leave at 10:05, like there's no, but I mean, it's obviously fun to watch them celebrate after the win because they've probably been there.
And you can see me. I'll let you know. I'll put out on Twitter on my account at Matabatacola and at AFDE Show. I'll let you know when I'm going to get out there. If you want to come on by and say hello, we'd love to meet you.
We will tweet out the details, so you have them this week before excuse me, before Saturday. So, again, it's Will's Northwoods Inn. It's at 3030 North Racine Street in Chicago. There is more information on Muskie Fest on their website, as well as what their specials are for the week. It is willsnorthwoodsin.com. Phone number 773-528-4400. And lastly, this is actually super exciting. So sat down and talked to Kevin about what segment he wanted to sponsor. And we decided, well, since it's a Wisconsin bar, we want to do something Wisconsin-centric. So the name of the segment starting next week is going to be That's So Wisconsin. It doesn't necessarily have to be, we're not trying to insult the state every week. So,
but if we do,
but it doesn't need to be something mean or someone doing something stupid. It can be something that we find interesting.
Right.
But,
so it'll be a story each week that
Yep.
we read, sponsored by Will's Northwoods Bar, and it'll be about Wisconsin.
Yep.
In some form or fashion.
And if any of you, I know we have listeners in Wisconsin, or if you have any Wisconsin stories, or if you see something that's funny or interesting during the week,
send it to us.
Tweet it at us or email us, and we will. We'll definitely throw it in the contention. If it's good, we're going to use it. That's kind of what we do on the show.
Again, that's at AFDE Show on Twitter, and you can email us afdeshow@gmail.com. So we're really excited to have Will's as part of the podcast and looking forward to a long relationship with them. So thank you for joining. And if you are out there listening and you have a business, and it doesn't have to just be a bar. Now, we're presented to you by Mickey Finn's. We now have added Will's to our list of sponsors and partners for the podcast. If you have a business that you want to be part of our show, we'd love to hear from you as well. You can email us at afdeshow@gmail.com, and we'll talk with you and get all the information that you will need. We'd love to have you as part of our podcast. Once again, this is Baticola and Ferrari Discuss Everything, and we are brought to you by Mickey Finn's, Lake County's first brew pub, located at 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in Libertyville. When we come back from a short break, I have got a fantastic story to tell you about something that happened to me this last week, and it was actually part of a road rage incident where someone yelled something at me, and it is such an amazing story. I was actually just telling it in my head on the way over, laughing. I'm sitting in my car laughing out loud over this dumb story that happened. It's fantastic. Don't miss it. This is the AFDE Show, the AFDE podcast. It's episode number 6. It's called Water Pillows. Welcome back, podcast friends. It's Baticola, Ferrari Discuss Everything, the podcast, AFDE Show. You can follow on Twitter at AFDE Show, Facebook.com/AFDE Show. Email us anytime, AFDEShow@gmail.com. He's Ferrari, I'm Baticola, and we're glad that you're part of the podcast. And thank you for the downloads and the subscribing to the show, following us along on social media, and being a part of what we're doing here. Thanks for your emails and encouraging tweets as well. Big thanks to our friends at Mickey Finn's. They do present this podcast, and they are Lake County's oldest brew pub, located at 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in beautiful downtown Libertyville. So last Sunday, I go to church with the dudes, and I drop them off, and I decided to go to Toys R Us. Jack had been asking during the week about a new Cars, the movie Cars. They've been playing with the race cars, a lot lately. It's been like a big thing now these last few weeks for them.
How many of those are there
the
now?
Cars?
Yeah.
The movies?
The movies.
There's 3 movies.
Okay, there's 3. Okay.
3 movies, and they have like these really nice, die-cast, cars, and they're a little bit bigger than regular old Matchbox cars.
Okay.
And they got all the characters, and the boys love them. I'm really into it. I think it's really cool, too, so I try to make sure they have them all, and we always go and pick one up, because they're like $3 or $4 at Walmart.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
So Jack had wanted a Cars racetrack of some type, and he kept asking for it. So I
kind of like the one you have, the one where the thing jumps.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
Okay.
So last Sunday, I decided I'm going to go get it and have it for them next time they come over and surprise them with it by having it set up. So I drop them off after church, and I'm driving to Toys R Us, and had a great was feeling great. It was a great Sunday, great weather, great time with the boys. They really love going to Sunday school at the chapel where we go to now in Libertyville. Had a great church service. I was feeling great about the day. And real quick background too, just about all that. Just so you don't have to. I don't want to get too deep into it, but you can email me or tweet me, whatever you want to do if you want to converse on it, talk on it. I've lived a life of faith, and I've lived a life where I wasn't living my faith. And back in May, I decided to reconnect and live in my faith again, because I have found that of doing it both ways, living in my faith and not living my faith. I like my life and myself as a person a lot better living in my faith than not living in my faith. Real simple, real basic, nothing more to it than that. You want to find out more, feel free to get at me at Matt Abaticola. Email me. You can email at afdeshow@gmail. You can email me directly, mattabaticola@gmail. Would love to talk to you about it. Totally happy to do that. So, I'm in line at a red light, and we're in a left turn lane to go into this little strip mall on Town Line Road where Toys R Us is in Vernon Hills. I'm the second car in line. So the first car in line, then there's me, then there's 2 cars behind me. And these are the left turn arrows that if the first person doesn't immediately gun it when the arrow turns green, maybe 3 people get through if they go immediately.
It's like an eighth of a second light.
It's quick. Like if I'm first and I'm like I fired off the line when the light turns green, the arrow turns green, I'm not even through my turn and it's turning yellow.
Yeah.
Okay?
I know
that's how quick they are. So I'm like, you have to go. So the car in front of me, I notice, she's got 4 stickers on the back of her car. One of them says God's Girl. One says Faith, Hope, Love. The other one says Smile, God Loves You. And the 4th one said, When Temptation Knocks, Send Jesus to the Door. So I'm sitting there and I'm reading those stickers and we're at a long, red arrow. And I'm like, wow, I'm feeling pretty encouraged. I'm like, good for this girl. I mean, she's throwing her faith out there. She's being pretty bold. I'm like, cool. Good for her. That's great. Again, just had a great Sunday, service at church. Was feeling great about the boys being there and really loving their Sunday school. Because it's a new church that we're going to. And I'm just feeling really encouraged. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm out doing something nice for the dudes. Excited to see how they're going to be excited to see their new toy. And I got this religious chick who loves God in front of me, and I'm like, oh, nice, awesome, good for you, way to throw it out there, Arrow turns green, and she doesn't move. Now, as of lately, I've been a little more patient in life, and a little more patient in time. There was a time in the past that once that arrow turned green, I would have laid on my horn, and I would have yelled things.
Instant road rage.
Instant.
Me too.
Dude, it would have been instant. In this case, because I'm a little more patient and because of the stickers and the way I was feeling about this total stranger in front of me, I was very patient. And I was like, I'm not going to do anything. If I miss the arrow, so be it. I missed the arrow. I'm alive. It's a beautiful day. I got money in my pocket to go buy a nice treat for my kids. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I sit through one more arrow. Yeah. No big deal. Then it starts to get a little uncomfortable because there's people behind me. Dude, I had my hand on the steering wheel. I removed my hand, and before I could get to the horn, you know how long it takes to get from the steering wheel to the horn? I couldn't even touch my horn. The 2 guys behind me are laying on their horns, okay? And I was already in the motion to give it a little gentle nudge. I wasn't going to lay on the horn. I was just going to give it a little gentle nudge. Beep. Yeah, that's all it was. My horn gets drowned out by these 2 guys behind me who are laying on their horns, and it sounds like they're driving semi-trucks, okay? This girl finally turns. And as you turn to the left, there's two streets to go down then. I stay in the left lane. She turned left and went into the right lane immediately. Okay?
Okay.
As she's turning, Jay, she is laying on her horn as well. Okay?
Thinking it was you?
Yeah. She's laying on her horn the entire time she's turning. So I'm behind her still. She's laying on her horn. We separate. I go left lane. She goes right lane. I'm rolling my window down. I roll it down because there's an immediate red light right there before you can turn into the strip malls.
Right.
I'm going to just say to her, hey, no big deal. People honked at you. It's all good. I was going to say something positive about her stickers. That's all.
Yeah.
She sees my windows down, and I'm looking at her. She rolls her window down because now we're sitting at the next red light.
Okay.
She rolls her window down, and before I could get a word out, she looks me right in the eyes, and she goes, you're shit. I was like, what? So
Did she repeat it?
No.
Oh, you were just thinking what?
I'm thinking it. I'm dying. I mean, I just start laughing. I'm laughing out loud. I'm laughing uncontrollably. I'm like, here's all these great positive things I was thinking about this total stranger. I was going to say something encouraging to her, and she looks at me and she goes, you're shit. not a, hey, you're a jerk, or no need to honk. You know, if she was confused, looks at me and she calls me that.
Just a steaming pile.
Right. She puts her window up. And so I leave my window down, and I'm trying to motion to her to roll her window back down because there was something else I want to say to her. And I didn't get the chance because she never put her window down, and then the light turned green, and she took off, and I turned left into the strip mall, into the parking lot to go to Toys R Us.
She probably made the instant assumption that most people make, that if you're anywhere near someone where something like that happened, if a window's down, like some kind of an F-bomb or something is going to transpire in a non-positive fashion.
So all I was going to say to her, I was just had she put her window back down and looked at me, I was just going to say, hey, do everyone a favor and take those stickers off your car. That's all I was going to say to her.
You stole my Jesus fish.
Just going to say, take it off. You know what? If you're going to be that type of person while you're driving, no reason to advertise God on the back of your car. I was just going to say, just take those off and do whatever you want.
4 stickers.
Right. I don't care that you called me that. My day's fine. My life's fine. I don't care what your opinion is, and you were completely wrong to begin with. But just take the stickers off. And my only encouragement that if you listen out there, because I do believe that God whispers to us and tugs on our arms at times in life, and whatever it is He wants to do to kind of draw you towards Him, whatever it might be. And sometimes we don't listen to that, or we don't listen to what it is that's being said, whispered, or that we don't listen to that tug because of God's people. And I was just thinking, man, what a terrible disservice you're doing, lady, by advertising how you're God's girl and God loves you, yet something happens so stupid at a red light that you want to roll your window down to a total stranger and say, you're shit. Like, come on, lady. But it was great.
It's funny.
Just a great story. Just a great story.
Ridiculous and funny.
So don't let God's people sometimes get in your way between you and God if that's the situation.
Because you don't want to, none of us want to be shit.
No, we don't. If that's your goal in life, then congratulations.
Find this lady. She will fill you in on how
Yeah.
much shit you are.
Just go to Town Line Road in Vernon Hills, the strip mall's there, and just
Yeah, but let's maybe circle it a little bit more than stopping there, because you don't want to be like constantly in the Toys R Us parking lot,
right,
in your clown outfit,
dressed like a clown in a windowless van. Oh, there's nothing wrong here, officer. I'm just looking for someone.
I just thought of that. If you pulled up to an intersection, there's a clown in a window, like a white windowless van, I would just be like, oh God. Like, I'd immediately maybe abandon my car or try and drive over the median.
So Thursday night, we had our first soccer practice. I'm coaching Hank's soccer team. And, dude, I had no idea what to expect. I've never coached at any level, and certainly have never tried to corral 11 4-year-olds at one time to teach them the fundamentals of soccer, which, of course, the main thing we're trying to do is just have fun and not get anyone hurt. So luckily, this first practice, in their hour-long practices, the first half hour of this practice was eaten up by getting medical release forms from parents, meeting parents, handing out information I needed to hand out, handing out jerseys as well, where the kids got to pick their own number for the jerseys we had, and going over information that the parents needed to know. So that was a half hour. So the practice itself was basically only 30 minutes long. And I was terrified for this simple thing. Last spring, Hank's first time playing soccer in an organized team, parents didn't stay for practices. If they did, they sat in their cars or they weren't out there the whole time. Generally, it was just me and my buddy Steve, who I met through the team. He's the dude who's the head coach at Deerfield High School, Steve Winicki.
Right.
Great guy. He would always sit outside. I would always sit outside when I took Hank to practice. The two of us became pals. We started talking. So I just assumed that at these practices with Hank that parents wouldn't be there. Well, not only were parents there, every parent was there. I mean, it wasn't just like a mom or a dad for each kid. There was mom and dad for every kid was there. So there's over 20 adults there watching. Sitting on the sideline, there's these benches, and they're sitting, and I'm like, okay, not only do I have no idea what I'm doing, but now I'm doing it in front of these kids' parents who paid money for their kid to play soccer, and they're watching me. Luckily, my assistant coach, this guy Jason Miller, super nice guy, he'd coached previously, and he had all the equipment and stuff, and he had cones. I didn't even know what I would need to bring. Cool. Now I'm going to go shopping at Dick's later to get some stuff that I know I need now as a coach. I just didn't. I didn't know what was needed before. But, dude, it was bizarre. It was insane. And I had kids running around, and you're trying to corral 4-year-olds with their own soccer balls and just trying to get them organized and to do drills and to run. Had one little dude on the team who I absolutely adored him immediately. He was like, we were pals. Like, we ran laps to warm up. We were running around circles. And I'm running with the kids. And he decided to be a fun game to latch onto me and kind of drag his feet and hang on.
Oh, yeah.
So then I picked him up, and I'm like, you're being silly. Let's run our laps. And then he kept doing it. Another time we were sitting around in a circle and we were talking. I just wanted everyone to go around and say their name. And I was asking them silly questions like what job they have and if they drove here or not. And he comes up to me, and he starts rubbing my face with his fingers. And he's like all like tracing out my beard. He's like, you have a beard. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I go, Coach Matt didn't shave today. You have a beard. And he pulls my shirt and it goes all the way down. It's like my chest hair. And I'm like, yeah, kid, I'm hairy.
You're wearing a full-headed sweater.
Right. You have a full hair suit on, sir. Yes, I do.
You're shit.
And then he looks at me and he puts his hand on my head and he's patting my hair and he goes, you have nice hair. It's beautiful. I'm like, oh, thanks, kid. Really nice.
Something wrong with this
Let's get
kid.
back to the soccer. No, there's nothing wrong with him.
I'm
He's
sure
just
so
it's funny. So I tell his parents afterwards and I'm like, hey, so your kid was like making comments about my beard and he said I had really nice hair. I go, I really felt encouraged about myself and my physical appearance from your son's words of encouragement. And his mom is dying laughing. And she's like, yeah, we've been talking with him about people's personal space and not touching other people. And I'm like, okay, so this is something we're going through. All right, I got it. As long as I know now. Because that's the kind of stuff you gotta worry about. Like, I have to look through these medical release forms if they have any kind of medical issues or any like allergies because we have like snacks and stuff. Yeah, so... But, again, I remember I didn't sign up for this, and the guy was like, it's okay, no big deal, and he walks away. I'm like, thank you, director of the soccer league, I really appreciate it. If it's fall soccer time, you know that it's school time, and school's back in session. And the other day, I'm dropping the boys off at school, and I got stuck behind the school bus.
Oh, boy.
Okay, this is great. And I'm not exaggerating the story. This is 100% truth of what happened. So there's kids on the side of the road, and I'm on Butterfield Road in Libertyville, and there's kids on the side of the road. School bus is picking them up out in front of their house. Okay? This honestly happened. I'm behind the school bus. It stops. There's a kid on the side. School bus stops. The sign comes out, so everyone stops. The left lane has to stop as well. Kid gets on the bus. Sign goes in. Bus takes off again. Still behind the bus. The back of the bus drove to the point and stopped at the point of where the front of the bus just was.
Okay.
It literally drove the length of itself, stopped again to pick up more kids.
God.
I am not kidding. And had I not been behind it and seen it, I wouldn't have laughed at it. It literally picked up a kid, drove its own length to stop to pick up more kids. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I started thinking about it, because that's how I'm so old. We used to walk uphill both ways in the snow.
Barefoot.
Dude, we didn't have. Not only did you have like door-to-door service like that, but you can't make a kid walk 2 houses down.
No. And you remember the space between stops? Like it wasn't.
Oh, you couldn't even see kids.
No, I mean it would be streets over,
right.
A mile, something
right.
like whereas you miss the bus, you're sprinting to try and get to the other one.
You're jumping over fences.
You don't go like a half a block. Yeah, exactly. It's like Ferris Bueller. You're jumping on trampolines. Like, I'll just walk 4 feet.
Right. That's what it was.
Next stop.
It's like you literally can't make the first kid walk to the end of this street where they picked up the other kids at the corner and be like, okay, you walk there and get picked up there.
I just see the parents too. Excuse me, we are 2 driveways down. We don't want to walk down there, so can you just pick up Johnny here?
Right. Little Johnny can't walk 2 houses down. We pay taxes here, damn it.
Does little Johnny, I don't know, does he exercise a lot?
Little Johnny have feet and legs? Yeah, he can walk. Walk to 2 houses down. I couldn't believe it actually drove its own length to pick up more kids. I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm glad I saw that because it reminded me of something I saw.
Speaking of ridiculous.
On 294. So I'm driving on 294 going to work the other day, and I drove past this giant school bus, and it's a white school bus painted to look like a zebra. So it's white with black zebra stripes on it. And on the side of the bus, it's called the Jungle Bus. And the Jungle Bus, Jason, is known for being gymnastics on wheels. So I had to look this up, and yes, sure enough, there it is, the Jungle Bus, and you could find it at junglebus.com. Jungle Bus is a full-size school bus that has been converted into a mobile gymnastics facility for children. The Gymnastics Jungle Bus comes to your location. Our structured lesson plans set to lively music, make it fun, and an easy way to provide unique physical fitness for your child's development. The Jungle Bus is a year-round, climate-controlled, with foam-padded floors and walls for your child's safety.
I sure as hell hope so.
We strive to make Jungle Bus your child's favorite day of the week. And there's some really cool pictures. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here that kids can do. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool idea. I mean, you could have the Jungle Bus come to your house. You're having a birthday party for your little kid. You got 15 little kids over. You don't want to go somewhere. You bring the Jungle Bus to your house. You get on and you do this structured gymnastic thing. Really simple at your house. Parents just have to drop the kids off, and you're there. Boom, good to go. But I don't like that concept of it. I like the idea of like a birthday party being mobile. and like the Jungle Bus on 294 going 65 miles an hour with kids in the back trying to do gymnastics, like they're on a balance beam or a trampoline or doing somersaults.
Pommel horse, the rings. You know, I envision, I don't know if people out there have seen Anchorman 2, but the scene where they're all in the Winnebago and no one's driving, and the slow motion where they're like flying around, getting hit in the face with bowling balls. I'm just envisioning these kids just like rolling side to side, taking full advantage of those padded walls.
Right. Getting slammed up against the windows.
Bus driver's like, hold on, kids.
It's like you drop your kid off at like Johnny's house for his birthday party, and Johnny's parents are like, all right, kids, pile in the Jungle Bus. We're heading to 294 for gymnastics.
Why are they handing out helmets?
I'm sorry, why do we need this medical release form and waiver? We're not suing you for what reason? Well, the Jungle Bus goes 75 miles an hour and your kid's going to do gymnastics. So
the kids are, they come out and they're like fully wrapped and have like the old school cast with like the post.
Right. And the bus driver's a clown.
Yeah,
don't worry, your kids are safe with me.
Oh my God, you just got to have like some kind of a smoke.
The Jungle Bus. Well, great concept. Check them out for yourself. Maybe that inspired you for your next kid's birthday party. JungleBus.com. But I love the idea of kids going 75 miles an hour trying to do gymnastics. One thing that we do love on this show, and we will do every week for you, is we will bring to you dumb apps. And remember, there are two ways this can go. These can be dumb apps that we absolutely love. Like 2 weeks ago, we fell in love with the Car Matey. You lose your car. This will help you find your car, but it uses a pirate voice. It's called the Car Matey. That's a great one. Last week, we learned about the button app, where there's just a button that you just press and hold. The whole idea
hold the button
to see how long you can hold it for.
I actually sent Matt a text earlier being like, I found apps that are dumber than hold the button, so you can only imagine what these are.
So, AFDE show friends, I give you now my good friend Jason Ferrari and this week's edition of Dumb Apps.
Yeah, and I tried to order these in dumbness, and I was kind of sliding them around, so I think I found...
You couldn't figure it out?
The right way, yeah. So the first app is called the Sim Stapler.
Oh my God.
I think you can imagine what this is. You hit a button and it makes a staple noise. There's no scoring system. It's just you hit a button and it's like,
and that's it.
That's it.
That's all it does.
All it does. Sim Stapler. So I don't know that I need to say anything more about that. Actually, there is something that it does. So it says, hold on a second. I can't. You know what? Can you do me a favor and read the? Oh, hold on. Of course, the screensaver turns on. That part. Every 10 taps.
Oh.
I forgot that was the funny part.
It makes staple sounds, and every 10 taps, a British woman says, "Splendid."
Yeah, so that's the end. That's the end game.
So these apps, are they like designed for people with like weird fetishes? Like you have like a stapler sound fetish, and then this is like a combo deal. If you like British chicks, like old British chicks, and a staple sound, this is the app for you.
Use your GPS. Like you could pick the British chick. But I mean, I've worked for startup companies who are developing apps, and they have to get like venture capital. Like they have to go into a room and pitch this to someone, and someone is giving them money to design a stapler app. Like what the?
Well, I think I maybe I'm wrong because I don't know. I've never started my own app, but I would assume the more complicated the app, the more money it would take to start. I would assume this would be a cheaper. Maybe
Right.
I'm completely wrong.
Right.
And maybe this is just some rich idiot who just has so much money he just wants to make an app about a staple sound.
Stapler, yeah.
And then a woman who says "Splendid."
Okay.
Splendid.
All right.
So that's called Staple Sim.
Sim Stapler.
Sim Stapler. Nice.
Available in all download areas for apps.
Available at the Dumb App Store.
Yes. Actually, it's only available on BlackBerry.
No, it's only available for flip phones.
Or yeah, if you have a Cricket Wireless account, it's automatically installed on your phone.
Oh, we know who can get one of those.
Sorry, Cricket. So
Jeremy.
The next one is the vibrating duck.
Oh boy.
So you open this app, and it's just a rubber ducky, and it just like shakes, and your phone will be like you get a text.
That's all it does.
That's all it does. Vibrating duck.
You put it in the tub with you? It's a waterproof.
Well, yeah,
phone?
that would. How do we make this more dumb? Put your phone in the tub.
Instead of buying an
just
actual
wait
rubber
until
ducky?
just wait until I get to the number one,
Okay.
which you've somehow. I didn't tell Matt what these are, so
I don't know what they
He
are.
just made like a comment that kind of rolls into that. So,
All right, so that was 5. That was 4. The
vibrating duck.
Vibrating duck is 4.
All right,
These are
so
in order of stupidity.
the next app is called Kitchen Scale, where they encourage you to open up the app and put a food item on it to weigh, if you need to have a certain weight for a food item. However, it gives you a guesstimate because the phone does not have the capability to be a scale. It's a digital screen. So you're using this app to weigh your food, but it can't give you an accurate. I mean, I don't even know what is a guesstimate.
Well, not only that, but here's the idea. You're going to have generally weighing things that are much larger than your phone.
Right.
You're not going to be able to even see it.
Yeah, what are you putting, an Oreo on there?
You put a cracker?
Yeah.
I wonder how much this cracker weighs.
Hey,
I mean, if you're trying to figure out if this is a 4 or 5 pound roast, you're going to stick it on top of your phone and you're not going to be able to see it.
Hey, buddy, bring that box over here. I need to weigh these wheat thins. Oh, yeah. So clearly dumb.
Why is your phone all covered in maggots? I was weighing roasts earlier.
Oh, all right. So this, I toyed back, or I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to be the dumbest. This is runner up. It's called what is it? Lick the Icicle.
Oh boy.
So you open it, and there's a picture of an icicle. And in theory, based on the name, you're supposed to be licking your phone. And I was reading the article, and they're like, people actually do this. They lick the phone, but obviously it doesn't pick up a tongue. So it only works with the finger. So people are like holding the phone up and licking the icicle, and then like swiping with their finger. Like what?
To make the icicle
To make
get
it like
smaller?
melt, like it's a popsicle.
Oh boy.
It's like who comes up with this shit?
Oh, is there like a popsicle app where you can pretend to be eating a popsicle?
If there isn't, someone's going to piggyback off the Lick the Icicle app to make perhaps a freeze pop. Wow. Where you can pull the bag down, the packaging down. But okay, number one, for a number of reasons, it's called Hang Time.
Oh my God.
And you compete with your friends by throwing your phone in the air, your iPhone in the air to see who can get more height. How is this just not like just a lawsuit? Like people are dumb enough to do it, but seriously, like what kind of case do you think these? Maybe it's encased in the cement watch that we talked about last week. But what the hell?
So there's an app called Hang Time where you compete with your friends by throwing your iPhone in the air.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
how much hang time did you
insane.
get, bro?
That's
just chuck
great.
your phone in the air.
Wow.
Hope you catch it.
Right.
Maybe do it in a cement parking lot. That'd be an ideal place for
Or
it.
people are doing it while they lay in bed, so it lands on the mattress and they just keep hitting the
it
ceiling.
just hits them right in the face. If you're using this app, you deserve that phone to hit you right in the face.
Neighbors above you. What is that damn pounding every night? It's just Bill and Susie playing Throw the iPhone.
Oh, God. Oh, those crazy kids down there must be playing Hang Time again.
Oh, that's what they call it, huh? Throw the iPhone. Hang Time.
So,
Wow.
yeah, that's the Hang Time app. That is the number one dumb for the week.
So those are this week's editions of Dumb Apps, brought to you by Jason Ferrari. And it's Sim Stapler, Vibrating Duck, Kitchen Scale, Lick the Icicle, and Hang Time. And friends, these are not something we make up. This is not something Jason sits down during the week and says, what can I create and pretend to... Though these are actual apps.
These would never occur to us.
Right, because you're not that dumb.
No, I mean, like... yeah, I mean, even if I couldn't make this up.
Oh,
I could not make these up.
Honestly, I think the dumbest one is the kitchen scale. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. So ridiculous.
I went with Hang Time as the number one purely for like the risk.
Because the risk of damage to your phone,
of
yourself.
completely just ending your
That's
iPhone.
Great. All right, so far we've done a ton of these so far in our episodes. Again, this is episode number 6. It's called Water Pillows. He's Ferrari. I'm a Baticola. And the best one we've come up with so far is the Carmatey. So Carmatey is still number 1, the most useful app of the dumb apps we found. Carmatey helps you find your car in a pirate voice. That was Dumb Apps on episode 6, Water Pillows. It's a Baticola Ferrari Discuss Everything. We're brought to you by Mickey Finn's, Lake County's original brew pub, located at 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in beautiful downtown Libertyville. It's episode 6. It's Water Pillows, a Baticola Ferrari discuss everything. Glad to have you back in the show. Follow us at AFDE Show on Twitter, Facebook.com/AFDE Show. We are presented to you by Mickey Finn's, Lake County's oldest brew pub. They are outstanding, wonderful food every Sunday, half-priced pizza as well, delicious beer. It's almost time. I sent you that picture of the Oktoberfest logo on their back wall. It's almost time for Oktoberfest, and they do a lot of fun stuff during Oktoberfest at Mickey Finn's. Check them out, 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in beautiful downtown Libertyville. If you ever go out to Mickey Finn's, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. I'm just literally minutes away, minutes down the street. It's like calling 911. I will be there, and I will enjoy a Pineapple Express with you at Mickey Finn's.
You will be there faster than the Amazon boozy friend.
It'll take me less than an hour to get there. I promise you that. He's Ferrari. I'm a Baticola. Of course, the big news of the country lately has been Hurricane Harvey and all the devastation that it's caused down in the Texas area, particularly down in Houston. People losing their lives and losing everything they own. Just a tragic, horrific situation because of a storm. And one such athlete has jumped up to the forefront to make a difference. And that, of course, being one of the really most favored guys of any person who watches the NFL. And if you're even not a fan of his team, you still like this guy. I love this guy like a lot of people do. And, of course, it's J.J. Watt and what he's doing down in Houston.
He had the guy had a similar procedure to me in his back and was playing football 6 months later. Jeez. Then obviously he was done for the season. I mean, I've went through this. Like, I couldn't even lift anything more than 10 pounds or walk upstairs. This guy's playing pro ball. It's crazy.
He's a phenomenal athlete and a heck of a football player.
He's really not. Yeah, he's from Wisconsin. He played at University of Wisconsin, and he's in Madison quite a bit. I did not have the opportunity to meet him, but everyone says he's just a super, super nice guy.
He seems like a real genuine, real nice guy, and
Yeah.
it's not just an act or something to look for publicity. He seems like a real good dude.
Right. Not like a pretentious athlete who just feels very entitled. And but anyway, so he's obviously played. He lives in Houston. He plays for the Houston Texans, so it's something that hit close to home. He started out, he wants to get donations to help the people of Houston. Started out with a goal of, I believe it was $250,000. 3 days later, he hit $10 million.
It's insane.
As of 4 hours ago, he posted that they were at last night they posted that they were at $17 million, and he posted a video earlier this morning of showing the entire warehouse where they have 9 full truckloads of things that they're going to that have been donated that they're going to hand out, and it looked like about 20 to 30 volunteers. He said that they were going out today. They showed another photo. I mean, the camera shot could not capture all the volunteers in one shot. So not only has he inspired people, including James Harden, another professional athlete, to donate $1 million. The owners of the Tennessee Titans donated $1 million. So he's reaching out to people other than the general, us, who, like Matt said before we got back to this segment, that if 150,000 people donated $1, it's crazy. So it's super impressive. It's really inspiring, and we thought it was something that we should touch on.
Yeah, one of the cool stories I've heard out of the Hurricane Harvey situation was there was a group of people, and I guess they became known as New Orleans Navy. If that's not the right what they were called. I'll look it up in a second. I'll use the Google machines.
The people from Katrina?
It was Katrina,
yeah.
And they organized. It was like an organized fleet of like boats and whatnot to help people. While they were going through that in New Orleans with Katrina, they now, I guess, stayed together as a group, and they've actually gone over to Houston and into Texas to help people there with this so-called Navy that was put together. So it's really fascinating to see how terrible we can be as people to each other in this country, and at times of need and crisis and tragedy, how we can also come together to help total strangers,
right?
And do things that are good. I mean, you have Charlottesville happening one week and nothing but hatred and protests and violence. And then you have people coming from one state to another just to help.
Who've been through it.
And not only that, but people from all over the country that are just flying down to Houston or driving down and saying, how can I help? What can I do to help?
Yep.
So much so to the fact, I heard the governor of Texas just encouraging people not quite to just rush down, because there are more volunteers than there are things to do at this point.
Right.
Now they're going to be needed at some point, but it's just right now at this point there's just more people there willing to help than there's actually work to do, and that's just, I think that's
Which
incredible
is
to me.
Absolutely outstanding. I'm air quoting problem to
Right?
have.
No, it is right. There are more people here to volunteer than we actually need at this point. Which, you might think it'd be the opposite, that hey, there's aren't enough people here.
Yeah.
No, there are more people right now than are needed.
American Red Cross is coming out and saying, "Hey, we need volunteers." Where they're not necessarily turning people away, but just discouraging people until they say, "Okay, now we need more help." That's so cool, and that the fact that you get to see someone that is a celebrity, this high profile, who just took this on and it blew up more than anyone could have thought.
Right, to think that he wanted to raise $250,000 and then after 3 days had $10 million.
Yeah,
That's just insane.
I think it's six days. Maybe today's the 7th day, but it's $17 million.
That's insane.
That's amazing.
As we were talking about that story, and there was another story that I actually had, in the hopper that I wanted to talk about. I actually saw it at the exact same time, and it was a story on GQ about great food in unexpected places. And they had a list, and it's a really cool article. You can Google it and find it. Just a GQ. Great food in unexpected places. And they listed, I think, like a dozen places around the country where just by the physical appearance or their location, you wouldn't expect to eat a great meal. And these are some of the best meals you could eat in the country. Like one of them was like a gas station. And you wouldn't expect a service station to serve great food, but it's some of the best Mexican food that you can actually find in your entire life and eat. So the whole article was based on, great meals in unexpected places. And it reminded me of something. And as we were talking about the Houston thing, and we were going back and forth with that as well, I thought of a meal I had down in Houston, which was one of the best meals I've ever had. And it was the Super Bowl of '04. We were down there, and I went to dinner with Bernstein and George Hoffman and Dave Kerner, and we ate at this really, really nice restaurant. And I had one of the best meals I've ever eaten. And it was a rabbit dish, and it was so funny. I can't remember the name of the restaurant. I mean, it's 13 years ago. So I sent Bernstein a text, as I told you just during the break. I'm like, Bernstein will remember. I mean, the guy remembers everything. So I texted to him, and then he named this Mexican joint that him and I would go to that was open 24 hours, but we'd go there late at night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not the place. I go, we went there in '04 for this, because that was the World Series. We would eat there. We ate there every night when we were there for the World Series, the Sox and Astros. And I was like, no, it's the place we went with Kerner and with Hoffman. And this is, of course, and it's a Bernstein response. Oh, no, I don't remember. I know we ordered a great bottle of Ribera del Duero, though. And I'm like, of course you remember the wine we drank, but you can't remember the name of the restaurant 13 years ago.
Well, maybe because of the wine you drank, you can't remember the name of the restaurant.
I know I can't. But and it was a great dish, but it's not the best meal. And maybe you don't have one. Maybe you're sitting there listening and you're thinking of a place that you just wouldn't expect to have great food. I was in Spain, and I had the best chicken shawarma sandwich I ever had in my life. And it was like 2 a.m, so I'd been drinking the whole night. So I had one sitting outside in the alley. I'm eating it. I finished it. I went back in and got another one. So much, I loved it so much so that the next day when I was completely sober and it was the middle of the day, I went back just to make sure that it wasn't just because he'd been drinking. And you know how like sometimes drinking food,
any
you could
food
get
at
like
that point.
a delivery pizza that's horrible from a place you hate, but you eat it. It could be the best pizza in the world. So I go and I get it during the day while the sun was out and I was completely sober, and it was still the best sandwich. I remember, I got the owner out from behind the counter. I got his card. I'm like, I'm from Chicago. We're going to franchise your restaurants, in Chicago. I go, this late night food is going to make you millions. I obviously, never did anything, but it was complete, because the reason it was unexpected, not because it was in Spain or whatever. It was like a hole in the wall. Just happened to like stumble past it in an alley, like an alley entrance.
Saw it was open.
Just saw that it was open.
Because you should be late night at 2 a.m.
Right.
wandering alleys in Barcelona.
In foreign countries. Just like looking for something to eat, and just stumbled in there. And I'm like, I'll just take one of those because I need something in my stomach. And I don't think there's Taco Bells in Spain. And dude, and it ended up being the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. I would fly back to Spain just for that sandwich and then fly back home. That's how good it was.
Should see if you can have them like pack it in dry ice and send you a sandwich.
Can you send it to me and still have it fresh and hot and delicious, please?
But what do you mean you can't do it? Amazon can get me a bottle of Pinot Grigio in 1 hour.
So check that story out. I don't know. Do you have any places that you wouldn't expect great food, but...
Yeah, you know what? Actually, when you were talking about kind of the various locations or like gas stations, you made me think of 2 places in Madison. One, again, I went there and had a shawarma plate. It was in a gas station.
Okay.
and it was outstanding. But I mean, I don't even know if I ever knew the name.
Right.
I just remember my friend Phil, who lives up there, Trish and I went there and got shawarma and like ate it in the parking lot, and it was really good. And then there's another place in Madison that's called Greenbush.
Okay.
Funny name.
But
But
not a beer place, are they?
No.
No, okay.
It's like a old school Italian like bar with the low ceilings,
Okay.
and it's in a basement. So you walk in and you're kind of like, and the lights along the wall look like Stranger Things or something.
Yeah.
And it's got like the colored lights.
Nice.
But it's that like wood baked thin crust pizza.
Okay, sure.
Oh my god! So we got one that was I think it was prosciutto and arugula, and it was unbelievable. So every time we go there, people would like, "What should we get?" And we'd recommend that. But the most random one for me, I would say, was and again, it wasn't a night of drinking; it was after a night of drinking. So obviously, your stomach would be pretty happy with any food. But one morning, a couple of friends and I got up and we went to Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
And I got fried chicken and the biscuits and gravy, and it was so good. Same thing. I got another one. Not good, obviously.
Yeah.
Like 4 biscuits and gravy. I think I was pregnant.
I love biscuits and gravy.
Really good sausage gravy. Yeah. So
I love it.
Yeah, I got that, and then I got a piece of pie. So I had like two plates of biscuits, 2 servings of biscuits and gravy,
And fried
chicken,
Oh,
and a piece of it was like peach cobbler or something.
That's living though, brother.
Oh man, it was so good though. I don't think that I have bad expectations of Cracker Barrel, but I feel like it's going to be like going to Denny's. You're going to get a satisfying meal.
Right.
It's not going to blow your mind. It was so good. I ate another serving.
There's a little place. You'll have to come out, and next time you come out to the house and you stay over, we'll go for breakfast one morning, or even just come out in the morning for breakfast. There's a place in downtown Libertyville called Town Square, and it's a little diner. And they're only open like for mornings and
until
then,
like 2 p.m.
Yeah,
or something.
I think might even be earlier than that, but at the latest 2.
Like 6 a.m.
So
to
right you're there
lunch.
for breakfast, maybe lunch.
Yeah.
They do a really good biscuits and gravy for like this. It was like unexpected to have it that good there.
Yeah.
And their corned beef hash is fantastic too.
I love. I don't know that I've ever been to a bad diner where you can sit at the counter.
Yeah.
The grill's right there. Everyone smells like whatever's grilling when you leave.
They have the diner or counter to sit at, but I'm always there with the boys, so we don't ever sit there.
Right.
We always get a table. This is easier with all the space and as messy as they get sometimes. But I'm totally gonna do that, like an old man move, and go there alone and have breakfast at the counter.
Boy, and get a real newspaper.
Oh,
you
yeah,
need a
for
real
sure.
newspaper.
Well, I did that when I was that 19 days, actual 19 days, a 1 month, a calendar month. I worked at the newspaper back in what was it, end of June, into July, yeah. There was a place in downtown Des Plaines called the Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
And one of the guys that I worked with, he was like, "Oh, they have really good coffee there. If you don't go to like any of the fancy coffee places," he called it. So I went there one morning for breakfast and sat at the counter, and I was like, total old man move. And I'm like, I was sitting there watching the TV, and I was like, oh, I wish I had a newspaper.
Yeah.
Because that would be like the ideal thing.
Right.
And that's what you do over 40. You take really long poops and you sit at the counter and you eat breakfast by yourself. Speaking of Cracker Barrel, and I'm glad you said Cracker Barrel, not knowing that was what you would say.
No, I know. I didn't know. We didn't know any of this.
There's a couple has finally completed their long quest to visit every Cracker Barrel in the United States. And it's a great picture. This is what you would expect this couple to look like.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's got an old, like, it looks like a Colonel Sanders hat.
Yeah, it's a combo between cowboy and Colonel Sanders.
Yep. And his wife, they both got gray hair, older people. It's called Batting the Cycle in the Cracker Barrel community, and few, if any, have ever done it. And their names, they fit too. It's Ray and Wilma Yoder. She looks like a Wilma Yoder. There are a couple from Indiana. They have done the unthinkable after 40 long years. Now I'm 44. So my entire lifetime, they've been traveling around the country eating at Cracker Barrels. They have finally accomplished their goal. Wasn't something that happened by chance. It was a goal of theirs. We all have goals in life.
So it was a goal at some point. They didn't give themselves a 40-year... In 40 years, we got to hit every Cracker Barrel. I think they just realized that there are a couple of Cracker Barrels out there.
They accomplished their goal of visiting every Cracker Barrel location in the United States. If it's an unprecedented feat, and it's one of humanity's greatest achievements. So congratulations from the AFDE show to Ray and Wilmer Yoda of Indiana. Yoder, who have, I said Yoder, because we talked about Yoda a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
Ray and Wilma Yoder, who have gone to every Cracker Barrel in America, and I don't know how many Cracker Barrels there are. Maybe, I don't know, a few hundred. I can tell you
I've been to 3, maybe 3.
one. Isn't there one on 55, like near Joliet somewhere?
That's where I had the hangover meal.
That's the only one. I went there with my mom once. Or was that Bob Evans?
There's one down there.
I like
It's in the same area. It might even be across the street.
Is it down on the farm?
I know, God. All they serve is boxed sausage links.
No, that's definitely the one. I think that's the one because I've been the one with my mom before.
There's one
My
right.
mom was a Cracker
There's
Barrel
one
fan.
right off.
She still is a
55
Cracker Barrel fan
down there. Yeah, like just north of Joliet.
You know, it's funny. So my boss, Harry, he and his wife, they go to Cracker Barrel, and I think there's a certain day of the week they go to Cracker Barrel. It's like one of their regular rotations. They go to Stevens by your parents' house.
Oh yeah,
in DG.
I love Stevens.
They go there. Harry took me there for dinner a week or two ago. We went there one night, and it was great. And he was like the mayor. Everybody walked over to the table, said hi to him. She like walked up with his raspberry iced tea drink. We didn't even ask for it.
Nice.
She brings it over. What do you want? I'm like, I want service like that. That's
Yeah,
what I want.
I will also have a raspberry iced tea.
And Cracker Barrel's in their repertoire as well, but not like this couple, Ray and Wilma Yoder, who have gone to every Cracker Barrel in America. What a goal! That's quite the accomplishment. Congratulations.
And it's not stated in the article, but we don't know if they have the diabetes or heart problems as a result. I don't think they're going to every Cracker Barrel over a 40-year span and getting a salad and a water.
If they got the sugar or not. All right, so if you're going to have a long, happy marriage, like of course Ray and Wilma do, and having a relationship of any kind or marriages are extremely hard. But if you have a common goal in life, like making every Cracker Barrel in America, it certainly can be easier. Now, there was a fantastic story that was on Mashable, Jay, that you saw, and a woman had a social media post about the engagement ring that her fiance gave to her when he proposed in marriage. And I'm going to get up her Twitter handle here because we need to have that. It's at DAYMJINA.
Okay.
So is it Dame Gina?
Is she a ninja? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, in the
at DAYMIG. I'm sorry, DAYMJINA.
Okay. And it's the unfortunate pattern that's been happening lately with the whole social media shaming thing.
Right. So she posted a picture of the engagement ring she received. So it's her hand, the engagement ring. And this is what she said. Imagine finally being proposed to, and this is the ring you're given with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crying emojis. It's a very small diamond.
Yeah. But it's the ring you got. Like, what's...
So, of course, from that Twitter post, many people, strangers, of course, responded. And it made national news.
Yeah.
There was news stories on it. You said you saw it on CNN.
Yeah.
And people tweeted back at her and saying that it's not about the size of the ring. It's about the importance of the relationship and the love that's there for each other. And it's not about the size of the ring. But okay, let's put yourself in the dude situation. First of all, I think engagement rings are completely ridiculous that you've got to go out and spend all this money on an engagement ring, and as a dude, you get nothing in return. I think, you know what, if there's equal gifts, I'm down with it then.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what do I get out of it? I think that's a fair thing, and if that's unfair, ladies, I apologize. That's my thought. I think it's a waste of money. Yeah. I'd much rather, especially...
what if I want a fur coat?
Right, well, especially if there's a company, there's a couple that's just starting off and maybe you're not financially established, to go out and waste that money when it could be used for your life together. I think there's better uses of that money than a $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 engagement ring.
Or more. It was when I was looking for the ring for Trish, like they're like, talk about the, 3 months salary or something like that, and then you go in and they're like, oh yeah, there are people who buy like $30,000 rings. No, I'm not those people.
Well then, I hope you make $3 million a year. That's good for you then.
That's great.
No,
I don't.
So now imagine you're the guy, and you must know what. Obviously, I would hope you would know the type of person he's asking to marry him, and it shouldn't throw him off guard too much or surprise that she would do this. But dude, I'd be pissed. I'd be absolutely 100% ticked off.
Yeah.
If the girl I proposed to posted a picture of it and then crapped all over the ring I gave her.
It's embarrassing and totally disrespectful.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know. The stuff that people say and do on social media, it still amazes me. You would think it wouldn't, but just putting that in such a public forum. I mean, it's embarrassing for you.
Right.
How could you think it? Fine.
Like to display yourself that way.
Sharing it and then
Right.
other people share it, and these aren't even people you know.
Right.
That's just brutal.
Right. I know some people are probably like, oh, poor woman. There's women out there that would love to have a great relationship with a guy that wants to spend the rest of their life with them, and this idiot gets an engagement ring and then posts a picture of it and craps all over the ring. There are situations in life, and some people are probably listening going, oh, that woman's an idiot. And there are some situations where women don't have it as equal as men in this country.
Right.
The engagement ring thing is not something that I want to hear you complain about. You should be thankful to have someone in your life that loves you. But if that's the case, that's the route you want to go, fine. Go ahead and go after it. But
symbolic.
I think it's pretty stupid.
It's the symbol. It's the gesture. It's the commitment.
Right. That's the
Not
whole
the stone.
idea. It's the commitment.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So then here's a story about two women who are actually on a legit end of complaining about something. So there's two women that started their own company. This is great. This is a great story also from
Really is.
Mashable. It's easy to understand on a theoretical level that female founders face more hurdles launching successful startups. It's less common to see the often insidious sexism they face blatantly illustrated. Penelope Gazin and Kate Dwyer a year ago launched a successful art marketplace. It's called Witchsy, WITCHSY, the site which has sold $200,000 worth of art. It needed contributions from developers and designers to get off the ground, and many of those contractors were men who often behaved dismissively toward Gavin and Dwyer and their cute art project. So the pair invented a third co-founder who only communicated with difficult outsiders via email. They called him Keith Mann, so it was a dude.
I love the last name.
He became the invisible yet vocal third partner of their startup. Of course, it worked. Dwyer said it was like night and day. It would take me days to get a response, but Keith could not only get a response and a status update, but also be asked if he wanted anything else or if there was anything else that Keith needed help with.
It's such a good idea. I mean, it's unfortunate that they had to do something like that.
Yep.
But it's smart. It's such a good idea. Talk about figuring out how to get beyond a loophole. Or find a loophole, I should say.
While Gazin and Dwyer dealt with a developer who addressed them with the greeting, "Okay, girls," Mann was addressed by name. Mann's presence to some people who worked with Witchsy changed their perception of and even legitimized the business. That's crazy. That's a crazy story.
Keith Mann.
Keith Mann, right.
that's just that's like the cherry on top. They named him Mann.
So, all right, so it's a really interesting story, and you have the fact that these women are they're dismissed really at face just because of being women.
Which is at this day and age, it's just come on.
Right. Of course, it shouldn't be that way.
It exists, obviously.
But let's look at the other side of it. They make up a fake person.
Yep.
To get your either furthered investment or your actual investment into their business. How do you feel about that?
Well,
how do you feel about them doing that?
Yeah, and that through that lens, it's fraud.
Right.
But I don't know.
Right, because you're going into business thinking you're going into business with Keith Mann.
Right.
And even if you're a sexist a-hole, it doesn't mean that you don't have rights to be protected as well, where it's not legitimate.
Then decide
who
you don't want to go into business with.
Right.
It's an interesting story because I think obviously you said if you're a sexist a-hole, you understand what both of our stances are on this, but it's just something that doesn't seem to go away, and they figured out a way around it. So it's one of those things where if you hear about it, there's not a part of me who looks at the bad side or the wrong side until you mention it, because I'm just like, well, good for them. That's my instant response to it. I mean, you put more thought into it, and I still think good for them. It's, unfortunately, well, I mean, I don't know. Is it good that it got publicized? Because does that start a trend of people trying to do that also?
Right.
But I don't know. I have a certain amount of respect for them for figuring out how to get it done.
But you can certainly look up that story and read about it and share it, discuss it as much as you would like. And our final couple of things here, and I know there's one situation, one thing that I wanted you to bring up because you'd mentioned to me during the week about Big Al.
Yep.
And actually, we have a couple things here from Big Al, who is Big Al Ferrari, Jason's dad. one of the coolest dudes you'll know, and he sent us. These are actually tree-sized cigars to smoke. They actually look like giant, giant trees. They're the biggest cigars.
Like, it's just like tree stumps.
It's very frightening, that cigar you showed me that he sent us to smoke. But a couple things from Big Al you have.
Yes. So the conversation started. I was having dinner with my family. I went to see my niece and my family. That was like the actually first time that all of us sat down to dinner since the wedding. And my mom, when I walked in the door, she watches Moxie, my niece, 2 days a week, and was listening to episode 4. And she's like, I told her about the number of downloads, and she said, I don't know why so many people listen. I mean, do they just want to hear you talk about poop? And I said, that's probably like 3%, not even.
Right.
We don't just talk about poop in every segment. So anyway, my dad hears this story, doesn't really say anything about it. We get an email the next day, and he said, just a heads up. That's the subject line. And he's like, the two main actors in Dukes of Hazzard actually met at the audition, sitting next to each other in stalls in the bathroom. So Big Al is coming up with poop stories of his own. That turned into another one where I was talking about deep-fried food items. And I said, I haven't eaten it because I would never want to, but deep-fried butter exists, where they deep-fry a stick of butter, to which Big Al's response was, deep-fried butter? That's a thing? Jeez, I think my butt cheeks would stick together. So that's just a gem. Big Al quote of the week. I don't know if it'll be a weekly segment, but that was was something. And the last thing that he did was, how everybody has nicknames of some sort. So my brother's stepson said, I'm known at school as Unlimited Energy. And then Matt and Chris and I were like, well, we've just been Ferrari. It's always that. And my dad said, people in my high school called me Jackass. He's like, I never really knew why. So that was all within like a 24-hour period. So well done, Dad.
He also shared with you a little factual tidbit of information that might be very important to people of our age.
Which one?
About the boys of Hazard County.
That's what I just said, Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
They were pooping next to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all it was. Yeah, no, but that's how it all correlates to what we talk about here in discussing.
Right, exactly. I know.
It's perfect.
It's we figured out a way to loop poop back in.
So we do thank Big Al for making the show even better today.
For saying things.
For opening mouth and talking. I love unfortunately I had the image of your dad's butt cheek stuck together because of deep fried butter.
Yeah, well,
it's an image I think I'll never
You're welcome.
Get away from again. Last thing we have for you, and I think if the Duke boys of Hazard County were around today, it's probably a good guess that two of their favorite restaurants in the world would be Cracker Barrel and probably Hooters. But did you know that there's been a decline in the Hooters business over the last 4 years? They've actually declined 7%, which has made them close restaurants all across America, restaurants. And this was a really interesting story that was researched and brought to our attention. Millennials.
This was on MSN, right? MSN story?
Yep.
Yeah.
Millennials have recently been tried in the court of public opinion for killing industries from diamonds to fabric softener, but a new study may have them all beat. Millennials now have been accused of killing the breast industry. An unnamed adult entertainment website, hint it rhymes with corn pub, recently commissioned a study of American search histories. The company, which likes to keep abreast of changes in viewing habits, found that millennials, 18 to 24, are 19% less likely to search for breasts when looking for their nighttime viewing material. They're also far less likely to search up natural breasts and far more likely to search up fake breasts, which I'm sure the millennials are psychologically damaged narcissist crew would have a field day with. And the mammary industry is suffering for it. Hooters, the iconic restaurant, which has made its name up serving wings and breasts for the customer's appreciation, has faced sagging sales in the past few years.
Jesus, sagging. All of this stuff.
I know, it's so really. That's why I wanted to read the whole thing. It's so well written.
God.
Between 2012 and 2016, the business has shrunk by 7%, and they've responded by closing restaurants across America. Hooters is not the same place it used to be.
The
long time ago.
Quality of staff. I haven't been in a while, but I think the quality of staff has gone downwards.
The wings are still good. Hank and I went last year. Actually, Hank and I went there for lunch at the Hooters downtown. And he loved the curly fries, the seasoned curly fries.
Oh, the food's great.
Wings are still good. I still like the old naked wings, but not quite the same place it used to be. The heyday for me, this is outstanding too, because when I was down at Moody Bible Institute downtown, we were right on LaSalle and Chicago
you're right
Avenue.
there.
It was a few minutes walk to go and get Hooters. Now we would pool our money together as college kids, and we would get some wings, but we did not want to go to the actual Hooters to sit there and eat. We just didn't want that type of hassle from anyone on campus.
Moody Bible Institute, going to Hooters.
Right.
So you just had a nice takeout order.
So that's what we would do. We would get a takeout order, and we'd have to do the shortest straw. The guy would have to go pick it up. We'd pool the money together, and someone would go pick it up. And we started bringing pillowcases, and people would put the food, the styrofoam containers of wings, in pillowcases, and we'd walk back on campus because we're not having Hooters bags.
Right.
You're not walking back in with Hooters.
But you're just
containers.
walking around with a pillowcase that smells like wings.
Well, it doesn't matter. It wasn't my pillowcase.
Yeah.
But that was all we had to use, big enough to transport wings back to campus. But now, back in those days, we were talking, in the early 90s, mid 90s, it was a different place to go to.
Yeah. We used to go there all the time. And the girls would sit with us, and then we'd go to bars after.
Because we used to go to the one in Downers Grove, right?
Yeah, the one on.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
is that Downers Grove?
The one on Butterfield. Yeah.
That was a good location.
Yep. And then it became, isn't it like the beach bar now that we went to?
Oh, I thought it's still open, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
I think it's still open. No, I think the station's done things at Hooters and Downers Grove.
Okay.
Recently.
Yes.
Maybe it's not.
I guess I haven't been there in a while. I don't know.
Oh no, I know for sure it definitely is.
Okay.
It definitely is open. It's got to be.
Yeah, I guess maybe I need to hit Butterfield up a little.
Maybe
bit.
you should go to Hooters.
Yeah, maybe
next time you're in town.
We should go there. We'll boost their number back up 7% by them becoming a sponsor of a breast
sponsor,
segment,
right?
Restaurant segment.
We could do that for sure.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna put you on that.
That wouldn't be sexist at all.
Oh no one would have any problem with that. All right, well, that is the end of episode 6. It's called Water Pillows. We do want to thank you for our 17,000 downloads of our first 5 episodes. We do thank you for all the support. We mentioned last week a download from Saudi Arabia, and the best part about that is
my good friend Brian McGoldrick, who actually suggested that I tell the Old Balls Gary story last week.
Hey, Gary!
We were sitting at a wedding together, and we were talking about the podcast and about some segments. And I said, yeah, because we don't get fraudulent ones that we can see where people download. It could be by accident. They may click on it. We don't know. But, I mean, there's been a couple in Saudi Arabia, and I told him a story, and he goes, that was me. I'm like, what? He works in the kind of the
drug industry.
The airline industry. And
weapons and drugs.
He downloaded 2 episodes while in Saudi Arabia, and we have 2 downloads in Saudi Arabia. So that's a friend. It's not like sketchy. It's verified.
It concerned me a little bit. I was afraid the Homeland Security would look into us. Yes. But no, we're all good. So it was Brian.
Yes. So Brian downloaded not 1 but 2 episodes in Saudi Arabia.
And so for the other 16,998 downloads, we do thank you for all those and do appreciate your support. Remember, you can email us anytime, afdeshow@gmail.com. Get us on Facebook at facebook.com/AFDE show, on Twitter at AFDE show. He's Ferrari. I'm Abaticola. This is Water Pillows. Abaticola, Ferrari discuss everything. We'll talk to you next week. Have a fantastic week, friends.